What a beautiful day in North Carolina. What a beautiful day in Moore County. What a beautiful day in Pinehurst. Mayor, it's great to have you here. Nancy, thank you very much for your leadership. I do want to say that our hearts and prayers, we just read online that former Senator Harry Blake just passed away. And he was such a crucial part of the leadership here in the Pinehurst area for literally decades. And I just want to let everyone know and their families know that our hearts and prayers are with him. He was a huge supporter of this event in the 3 times now that it'll be held here. And it was just shocking news to hear that, but his heart is here at Pinehurst, so we're thinking about him often. We also have some very special announcements to make today. One, some regarding economic development issues, one regarding art, and we're also going to give an updates on some transportation issues on how we're all working together on making this the best tournament in U.S. Open history right here in North Carolina. And that's our goal. In fact, over the next 2 weeks, the entire golfing world will have its eyes focused on Pinehurst and our state, as the state's crown jewel of golf hosts 2 of golf's biggest events, the men's and women's U.S. Open. Pinehurst #2, one of the greatest golf courses in the world, and one of my favorites, will be making history as it becomes the first golf course to host both the U.S. Open and the U.S. Women's Open in back-to-back weeks. Not only will these 2 events put North Carolina on a world stage, they will have a tremendous economic impact on the region and across the state. The USGA estimates that over the next 2 weeks, a total of more than 400,000 people could be here in Pinehurst to attend the 2 U.S. Open championships. Attendance on peak days could exceed 50,000 spectators each day. And just driving in, I saw hole #2 on Pinehurst #2 just packed of people already on a Monday when the pros are practicing and seeing the great new course here at Pinehurst #2. One thing about all these people, when they come to Pinehurst for the championships, they're also going to spend money. And the Convention and Visitors Bureau here estimates total economic impact for the state of North Carolina could be $169 million. That's money being spent on things like hotels, food, drink, shopping, golf, transportation, and other attractions in this beautiful region. Of course, when you have events as large as the U.S. Open come to our state, there's a lot of work and coordination that goes into this to get it ready. And here locally, Pat Corso, the Executive Director of the Moore County Partners in Progress, you've been an integral part in preparing this, and I appreciate the teamwork. We've had many, many meetings here during the past year in preparation for that. And also Mr. Miles, the President and CEO of the Convention and Visitors Bureau for Pinehurst, Southern Pines, and this entire region has been a great, great leader. Thanks to everyone for working on this and working with our state agencies. We, again, are taking advantage of Pinehurst in recruiting new businesses to come to North Carolina. And Sharon Decker, our Commerce Secretary, is going to be talking about that. Susan Klutz, our Cultural Resources, is going to announce a brand new program regarding arts and transportation that we're kicking off right here during the U.S. Open. And Susan Klutz, I look forward to that great announcement. And John Scavarla, our Diener Secretary, is going to be talking about a lot of the issues that we're working with regarding the environment during this area. And of course, Tony Tata, our great DOT Secretary, he and his staff have been working to ensure that people can get in and out of this great region in a safe way, an effective way, and in a fast way while all these people are visiting this area. This has been going on literally for well over a year in preparation for this, and I expect good weather too. And this is the last time you're going to see me in a suit this week. I'm going to be in a golf shorts from now on and golf shirt. And I might even get a little golf in this week while I go back and forth to Raleigh to work on some important legislative issues. John Scavarla, who lives right here in Pinehurst, and in fact, I'm going to stay at his house several nights this week. We're going to be shacking up, right, John? And I'm looking forward to staying with him and his wife in his beautiful home in Pinehurst, as I've done many other nights, and enjoy this great area, Mayor. I look forward to it. So with that, let me first introduce John Scavarla, who will give you some quick updates of things his department's doing, and then we'll hear from the other cabinet secretaries also.
Thank you, Governor. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Since I'm from Pinehurst, I'm going to take a little poetic license. I just want you to know that Secretary Decker and the governor are staying with me because they know I'm the best kitchen cleaner in America. And there's no other reason. But being from Pinehurst, I've had kind of a nostalgic and a humble thought process on today. And the nostalgia goes back to my childhood. I was raised in a little village outside of New York City called Tuxedo Park, New York. It's quite a famous place. It actually is where the tuxedo was invented. And it also was the home of the second oldest golf course in the United States after St. Andrews and Yonkers. So it was certainly living proof that little villages can do great things. And then reflecting on today, look what this little village is doing. The home of golf in the United States of America and the home of the first ever back-to-back Open. It's quite a remarkable occurrence. And I'm very humbled by the fact that I'm associated with Governor McCrory in this cabinet. I'm humbled by the fact that Governor McCrory and Secretary Decker and hopefully some of the other cabinet secretaries will stay with us this week. But I'm also humbled by another person who's going to be staying with us. And his name is David Fay. David is the former executive director of the USGA who actually originated the idea of having back-to-back Opens. And he loves Pinehurst because of the warmth of the people, the hospitality, the cooperation, the room to spread out. He said this is the best venue in the United States to hold a US Open. And here's the irony. David Fay is from Tuxedo Park, New York. I've known David for almost 60 years. And we have been lifelong friends. So to me, it is truly a humbling and a nostalgic moment to have this culminate in Pinehurst with another little village doing great things. So thanks very much, and I'm going to kick it over to the Commissioner of Law Enforcement for DPS, Greg Baker. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. What an honor and a privilege it is to be here today. And on behalf of our Secretary, Frank L. Perry, who is in a Homeland Security meeting in California and couldn't be here, trust me, he wanted to be here, I send his greetings. And want to try to give you some perspective of DPS and the planning and the effort that's gone into hosting these two events from a security standpoint. But I couldn't do that without thanking a few people, principally our governor. Governor, thank you very much for your continued support of the Department of Public Safety. The weekly briefings are now over. It's game day, and as a career law enforcement officer, I can tell you we love game day, so thank you very much. Also, Chief Phipps, Mayor, thank you very much. Sheriff Godfrey of Moore County, tremendous partners to us in this entire planning event. Fire Chief Cole, EM Scott Brooks, who is a Moore County emergency manager who works with Mike Sprayberry, our director of emergency management in Raleigh. Just a fantastic effort. We're expecting a lot of heat, potentially some medical issues out on the course, and we could not do this event without them. So thank you very much. Of course, our USGA partners, Robbie Zelnick, Reg Jones, and Hank Thompson, tremendous partners. There's not been one request that we have made of them that they have not honored, so we're very thankful for that. A very significant partner for us this year as DPS took a leadership role in this security event. Historically, it has been managed by the State Bureau of Investigation. I can tell you they could not have been better. They've committed over 60 agents to this effort to go along with the 250 plus Department of Public Safety employees. It's just been a great marriage of the two agencies, and we're so thankful for that relationship. Our federal partners, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, United States Postal Inspection Service, TSA, United States Marshal Service, ATF, and FAA. Great partners to us, 25 personnel dedicated full-time to these 2 weeks. I mentioned our 250 employees at the department, led principally by our tremendous Colonel Bill Gray and the Highway Patrol, who is always the tip of the spear. You'll see Colonel Gray and some of his staff over here. They're out in front of everything we do at the department, the flagship agency of uniformed law enforcement in this state. and we couldn't do it without them. Also, our ALE director, B.W. Collier, and the great people at ALE. We had two principal planners on our security platform that designed the plan, developed the plan in concert with SBI. Lieutenant Shane Manuel and Assistant Director Ken Pike have just done a great job in that effort. I mentioned Mike Sprayberry at Emergency Management, Adult Corrections, Commissioner Geis, and the National Guard, General Lusk, all are participating over the next 2 weeks. Our security plan, really you can look at it in two phases. There's parts of the plan that are very apparent. I mentioned the Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Office, and the Police Departments working with transportation to get people in and out of this venue. That's the apparent side of it. The other side of the plan is not so apparent. We're employing some technology that has never been used at an open before. We're very proud of that. We've got a lot of plainclothes officers walking, and the goal, of course, is to protect all of the spectators, the players, the staff, and the volunteers of this great event. I mentioned partnerships. We could not have a better partner in this than the Department of Transportation. I'm about to introduce to you Secretary Tata, but I wanted to acknowledge the effort of you and your staff working with the patrol. What we want is we want people visiting this venue, and the only thing that they remember is the competition, not the security. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Certainly, teamwork is what the governor has emphasized from day one, and preparing for this event has been a great collaborative effort, and we are pleased to have played a key role in that effort. And of course, want to thank all our partners on all levels for making the improvements that are going to enhance our state and open the door to further opportunities. And I'll start out by talking about three construction projects that we have been working on for quite some time, underway prior to the open, and that will improve safety and mobility of the region. And we were able to complete work on all of them prior to the start of the championships, despite heavy rains last summer and a really harsh winter a few months ago. First, we widened from 2 to 4 lanes, a 7.5-mile stretch of North Carolina 211 from North Carolina 73 in West End to the traffic circle in Pinehurst, which is one of the main routes to and from the Open. We also have a new and updated bridge on US 15501 over the CSX Railroad in Aberdeen, and the alignment of 15501 has been improved from North Carolina 211 to US 1. And finally, we were able to replace the Morganton Road Bridge over US 1 year ahead of schedule to accommodate visitors to Moore County for the Open and increase mobility for residents. So my hat is off to Rob Stone, the division engineer in Division 8, and all the hardworking NCDOT employees and contracting partners with whom we work. In addition to the road and bridge projects, we've made several improvements to the Moore County Airport over the past few years in anticipation of hosting the U.S. Open. 28,000 yards of ramp space were added to increase aircraft storage and parking for the 2,000 to 4,000 planes. Expect 2,000 to 4,000 planes expected to land during the next 2 weeks. And the runway was also extended to 6,500 feet. In addition, the FAA upgraded the instrument landing system ahead of schedule to assist in the safety of all planes flying into the airport. Inside the airport, the terminal has been updated with new flooring and seating areas to accommodate the expected traffic. We've also painted wayfinding signs. Our roadside environmental team did this on the grass at 6 locations throughout the Piedmont, including 2 locations on I-40, 2 along US 1, and 2 along I-73 and I-74. So in summary, 3 road projects, a major upgrade to the airport, and roadside environmental work are all about ensuring people can get to Pinehurst smoothly and safely, as well as continuing to serve the citizens and visitors of our great state. And in collaboration, in the name of teamwork, we've been working very closely with Secretary Susan Klutz and her great Department of Cultural Resources on a program that she's going to announce right now.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited to be here today on behalf of this team the governor's team, to share with you my department, the Department of Cultural Resources' role in the U.S. Open. When the governor appointed me a year and a half ago, he gave me 3 directives. 2 of them made sense to me. Number 1, translate my department into economic development and jobs. Number 2, education. The third one didn't make as much sense at the time. He said he wanted me to work with Secretary Tony Tata and the Department of Transportation to improve the appearance of our highways and state infrastructure. So for the last year and a half, our 2 departments have worked closely together, combining the discipline and expertise of the DOT engineers with the artistic talent of my department to create a plan using art, texture, lighting, landscaping. And we named this governor's initiative Art That Moves You. And I'm excited to be announcing this today after it's been in the planning stages for a year and a half. And actually, our first project is about the U.S. Open. Its purpose is to beautify our roadways, to celebrate the U.S. Open, to welcome our visitors, and to highlight the importance of golf to our state. We have created golf greens at the airports, Charlotte Douglas in Charlotte, Raleigh-Durham in Raleigh, Piedmont Triad in Greensboro. This is a partnership for us, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Cultural Resources, with the Department of Commerce, the USGA, and those 3 airports. It features artistic use of landscape to create the golf greens on state property at the exits. Art That Moves You will continue. This is just our first project, and we have many things that are coming up, and it's very exciting. We will be partnering with local governments and the private sector for funding for these. I'm thrilled to have a governor that understands creative and innovative ideas and how he works to improve the state with them. I'm very happy to celebrate this exciting occasion for North Carolina. And now I'll turn it over to the secretary whose main job has been this U.S. Open, Secretary Sharon Decker from Commerce.
Thank you. Great news today all the way around. A lot of work by this great team, and Governor, I appreciate your focusing us as a team on the U.S. Open, that this was important for all of North Carolina, regardless of our individual efforts. Together, we really were to focus on making this a successful event. He talked about the economic impact of the U.S. Open, over $169 million expected in economic impact. But the real opportunity is far beyond these 2 weeks of activity, because today, tomorrow, the rest of this week and next week, we have the opportunity to capture the imagination of companies that are already in the state that have the opportunity to grow, and companies that don't yet reside in North Carolina that have the opportunity to come here. So over the course of the next 2 weeks, we've invited many companies to join us for this experience so they can see North Carolina at its best, so they can experience the hospitality and the goodness of North Carolina. Small business owners will be in tomorrow, and today we've invited a number of entrepreneurs and startups here on starting day. That makes sense, right? And then we have a day that we've invited the state's largest and some of the smallest exporters of North Carolina products, so they can see the opportunity in an international setting for what the potential is to market their product even further. We have corporate executives and businesses that have the opportunity to come to the state, as well as those that have the opportunity to grow. In addition, we have a number of travel and tourism companies that will be here during this 2-week period, so we have the opportunity to expose them to the U.S. Open, the kinds of events we can create, but also have the opportunity to personally expose them to great golf in North Carolina. Because while folks are here, we want them to understand that this is a fabulous place to play golf. It's the home of golf, right, John? That's what you said. But this isn't the only series of golf courses in the state. Would you agree? So we'll have the opportunity for some of these folks to see golf courses in the mountains and golf courses at the coast, but really to see North Carolina at its best. We've also chosen this week to begin to tell the North Carolina brand story. we felt there was no better way to be talking about all that is good about North Carolina than to start it right here, where millions of eyes will be focused on our great state. So you'll find as you visit in the North Carolina tent, and we have guests that are there, that we will be sharing some of what North Carolina means to North Carolinians. You see a few of the examples right here. But in concert with the Keenan Institute, we've been talking to folks all over the state about why they like North Carolina. So we'll be sharing what's great about this great state. Then on Friday night of this week at 9 p.m., join the governor for the North Carolina Symphony and North Carolina Night right here, where once again we'll focus on some of the great things about the state, like great music and great musicians all over this state. But we'll have the North Carolina Symphony right here in this band shell on Friday night. So join us that evening as we celebrate one more great thing about North Carolina. This is our time to celebrate all that is North Carolina, and we will continue this brand formation over the summer months. We decided one event wasn't the answer. There'll be multiple opportunities to begin to see this brand story. In July, we'll celebrate our spirit of independence, opportunity, and innovation. In August, we'll focus on celebrating the people of the state, both past and present, and yes, maybe even future. And then on Labor Day weekend, we will officially launch the new North Carolina brand promise. So we start that brand story this week right here at Pinehurst. This is a week to celebrate all that is North Carolina, and the celebration will continue. So come, play golf, enjoy, and celebrate North Carolina.
Thank you very much. Very quickly, we've got people here to answer questions about some of the public safety initiatives that we've been working on all year, transportation initiatives, commerce initiatives. I want to emphasize the art that moves you. We're kicking it off here, but this is a program that I've really put one of the main responsibility on cultural resources. We're trying it out here in Pinehurst, but on bridges and hardened infrastructure that we have in small towns and large city alike, going down our highways. We're going to try to brighten them up with art in communities throughout the North Carolina, on some of the state bridges, on some of the railroad bridges, and enliven and sell North Carolina as they drive down, as people drive down our highways. In fact, we're even looking at entry points as you come into North Carolina from Virginia, Tennessee, and South Carolina, using art to really welcome people into North Carolina. So the rest of the week, in between my negotiations continued with the legislature, I'm going to be coming back here a lot to help sell North Carolina to companies that are interested in setting up base here or expanding here. That's how we're using this great open. And last but not least, golf is very important to travel and tourism. And we're going to start selling golf a lot more than we've ever done in the past. So with that, yes, sir.
WRL. No question for the panel, but you're going to sell golf. We have to have you putt over here. Putt of your choice. We got a putter and balls. We'd love to see you putt with the Payne Stewart.
You got it. You got it. I was here, and I was fortunate to get enough to get to see Payne Stewart play here. And I just read in USA Today the incredible story about Payne and some of the life changes he went through. And I'll be thinking about him tonight as I speak at the chapel. So I look forward to that. I will take you on, especially anyone from WRAL, I'll take you on. Any other questions? It's too hot. Thank you. Shades out. Thank you.